That's my Lego. I still have 2 boxes of Lego. Yes, I'm still getting a little bit more subscribers. 15,030. But I think I could maybe lose subscribers if I start to upload 1,000 videos like this one, but I do it anyway. Yes, many teeth is broken. So I need more time to chewing my food because I have so many broken teeth everywhere. Yes, let's get more to drink. Could drink some water. Good. And now let's eat this tomato. To buy more tomatoes. They have cheap tomatoes, 10 Danish kroner. That's like $1.30. That's super cheap. That's this legal discount supermarket. So let's just eat one because I got 1 kilo of tomatoes. So that's so big. I have to cut it in eight like this. But this will take many hundreds of hours to read all this many PDFs, so I have to continue my own life. Same time I have to do like this. I have to eat, go bathroom and stuff, but I don't go to bathroom when I record video. Was not mentioned a lot about water pumps in old days. Water pumps in the medieval history of the water pumps. But maybe do later. I think that they used water pumps many hundreds years ago. I need to eat this because I need both my hands. Yes, sorry, but I have to continue my life. Same time I do all this, like I'm playing computer, I do stuff like this. If I need to eat. Yes, let's go back to bed. Yes, sorry for that, but this video is not only about reading this, it's about me and my life too, of course. No, there was not mentioned anything about water pumps in old days. Yes, I need to clean my nose. And I'm freezing a little bit, so I have to get below. I'm freezing a little bit, so I have to get real into my bed. No, this is my blankets. I'm sleeping below this one. I like to get below this. And when it's really hot, I do not have this blanket on. So I like to get below here. It's a little bit more hot. No, that will take, I don't know, some 100 hours to read this, all this many. Good, let's try again. The video will split in 10 minutes. I don't think we can do this.
Air lift pumps run on air inserted into pipe, which pushes the water up when bubbles move upward. Instead of a gas accumulation and releasing cycle, the pressure can be created by burning of hydrocarbons. Such combustion-driven pumps directly transmit the impulse from a combustion event through the actuation membrane to the pump fluid. In order to allow this direct transmission, the pump needs to be almost entirely made of an elastomer, for example silicone rubber. Hence, the combustion causes the membrane to expand and thereby pumps the fluid out of the adjacent pumping chamber. The first combustion-driven soft pump was developed by F. Zurich. 23. Hydraulic ram pumps. A hydraulic ram is a water pump powered by hydropower. 24. It takes in water at relatively low pressure and high flow rate and outputs water at a higher hydraulic head and lower flow rate. The device uses the water hammer effect to develop pressure that lifts a portion of the input water that powers the pump to a point higher than where the water started. The hydraulic ram is sometimes used in remote areas, where there is both a source of low head hydropower, and a need for pumping water to a destination higher in elevation than the source. In this situation, the ram is often useful, since it requires no outside source of power other than the kinetic energy of flowing water. Velocity pumps. A centrifugal pump uses an impeller with backward swept arms. Rotodynamic pumps, or dynamic pumps, are a type of velocity pump in which kinetic energy is added to the fluid by increasing flow velocity. This increase in energy is converted to a gain in potential energy, pressure, when the velocity is reduced prior to or as the flow exits the pump into the discharge pipe. This conversion of kinetic energy to pressure is explained by the first law of thermodynamics, or more specifically by Bernoulli's principle. Dynamic pumps can be further subdivided according to the means in which the velocity gain is achieved. 25. These types of pumps have a number of characteristics. 1. Continuous energy. 2. Conversion of added energy to increase in kinetic energy, increase in velocity. 3. Conversion of increased velocity, kinetic energy, to an increase in pressure head. A practical difference between dynamic and positive displacement pumps is how they operate under closed valve conditions. Positive displacement pumps physically displace fluid, so closing a valve downstream of a positive displacement pump produces a continual pressure build-up that can cause mechanical failure of pipeline or pump. Dynamic pumps differ in that they can be safely operated under closed valve conditions, for short periods of time. Radial flow pumps. Such a pump is also referred to as a centrifugal pump. The fluid enters along the axis or center, is accelerated by the impeller and exits at right angles to the shaft, radially. An example is the centrifugal fan, which is commonly used to implement a vacuum cleaner. Another type of radial flow pump is a vortex pump. The liquid in them moves in tangential direction around the working wheel. The conversion from mechanical energy of motor into the potential energy of flow comes by means of multiple whirls, are excited by the impeller in the working channel of the pump. Generally, a radial flow pump operates at higher pressures and lower flow rates than an axial or a mixed flow pump. Axial flow pumps. These are also referred to as all-fluid pumps. The fluid is pushed outward or inward to move fluid axially. They operate at much lower pressures and higher flow rates than radial flow, centrifugal pumps. Axial flow pumps cannot be run up to speed without special precaution. If at a low flow rate, The total head rise and high torque associated with this pipe would mean that the starting torque would have to become a function of acceleration for the whole mass of liquid in the pipe system. If there is a large amount of fluid in the system, accelerate the pump slowly. 26. Mixed flow pumps function as a compromise between radial and axial flow pumps. The fluid experiences both radial acceleration and lift and exits the impeller somewhere between 0 and 90 degrees from the axial direction. As a consequence, mixed flow pumps operate at higher pressures than axial flow pumps while delivering higher discharges than radial flow pumps. The exit angle of the flow dictates the pressure head discharge characteristic in relation to radial and mixed flow. Regenerative turbine pumps. Regenerative turbine pump animatic. Regenerative turbine pump animatic, also known as drag, friction, liquid ring pump, peripheral side channel, traction, turbulence, or vortex pumps. Regenerative turbine pumps are a class of rotordynamic pump that operates at high head pressures, typically 420 bars, 4.120.4 kgf/centimeter to 58,290 psi. 27. The pump has an impeller with a number of vanes or paddles which spins in a cavity. The suction port and pressure ports are located at the perimeter of the cavity and are isolated by a barrier called a stripper, which allows only the tip channel, fluid between the blades, to recirculate, and forces any fluid in the side channel, fluid in the cavity outside of the blades, through the pressure port. In a regenerative turbine pump, as fluid spirals repeatedly from a vane into the side channel and back to the next vane, kinetic energy is imparted to the periphery. 27. Thus pressure builds with each spiral, in a manner similar to a regenerative air blower. 28, 29, 30. As regenerative turbine pumps cannot become vapor-locked, they are commonly applied to volatile, hot, or cryogenic fluid transport. However, as tolerances are typically tight, they are vulnerable to solids or particles causing jamming or rapid wear. Efficiency is typically low, and pressure and power consumption typically decrease with flow. Additionally, pumping direction can be reversed by reversing direction of spin. 30, 28, 31. Eductor jet pump. Regenerative turbine pump 1/3 HP. Regenerative turbine pump rotor and housing, 1.3 horsepower, 0.25 kilowatt, 85 millimeters, 3.3 in. Diameter. Impeller rotates counterclockwise. Left, inlet, right, outlet. 4 millimeters, 0.016 in. Thick vanes on 4 millimeters. 0.16 in. Centers. This uses a jet, often of steam, to create a low pressure. This low pressure sucks in fluid and propels it into a higher pressure region. Gravity pumps. Gravity pumps include the siphon and Heron's fountain. The hydraulic ram is also sometimes called a gravity pump. In a gravity pump, the water is lifted by gravitational force and so-called gravity pump. Steam pumps. Steam pumps have been for a long time mainly of historical interest. They include any type of pump powered by a steam engine and also pistonless pumps such as Thomas Savery's or the pulsometer steam pump. Recently there has been a resurgence of interest in low-power solar steam pumps for use in smallholder irrigation in developing countries. Previously, small steam engines have not been viable because of escalating inefficiencies as vapor engines decrease in size. However, the use of modern engineering materials coupled with alternative engine configurations has meant that these types of system are now a cost-effective opportunity. Valveless pumps. Valveless pumping assists in fluid transport in various biomedical and engineering systems. In a valveless pumping system, no valves, or physical occlusions, are present to regulate the flow direction. The fluid pumping efficiency of a valveless system,